All right, the nines go to the ninth sphere, which is Yesod. Yesod means foundation, and it's ruled by the moon. The moon, it always reveals secrets that are hiding in the darkness. They always bring things to light. So, like even the Cancer sign is the moon. Cancers love secrets and finding out everything they need to know, like real deep about people, so they kind of feel safer. They know who they're dealing with or where people stand with each other. All right, going to the cards. Nine of Wands. Nine of Wands is, if you count the wands, there's 27 on, no, sorry, count the branches on the wands. There's 27. And so 27 connects to the lunar return because all the nines connect to the moon. So the lunar return is a very emotional time with a lot of self-realizations, and you start to see things about yourself that you maybe forgot about, or rekindling, or just new discovery about yourself. And then this time period sets you up for your Saturn return, which comes right after lunar return. And Saturn return happens whenever you're around like 29 and ends when you're 32. So from 27 to 32, you're through this phase of like self-discovery, and you feel like the past comes back to haunt you sometimes, and sometimes it comes back calling you. Like if you were an artist or a singer as a kid, it might be like, hey, don't you want to like not forget that you wanted to become a rock star when you were like 8 years old, something like that? Like, or like you remember you used to be sweet, but now you're a jerk, stuff like that. And you like really think about yourself, like what road am I taking with my life? And you start to face other people's opinions that seem like better and bigger than yours, and you learn something new that you don't know at all. And then you start to like rekindle your passions. You start to go, like pushes, like Saturn return pushes you to become more your authentic self and follow your passions, things that you used to do maybe when you were younger that you're really just naturally talented at, that you maybe thought didn't make any money, or because society taught you a different way, or in a relationship that pushed you to a different thing, or your parents wanted you to do something else. But it all kind of, you break free from all of that. So this guy, he has a focus sash or a bandage on his head. So he's focused on his head, but he's also getting beat up by all these other opinions and life in general. And he's like enduring growing pains. And so he's growing into an adult, and he's moving away from immaturity, adolescence, and he's really growing into his own. And because you grow into your own, you start to grow out and away from others who no longer have an affinity or resonate with you anymore. And it's really rare to see people that have been friends forever, because sometimes you're friends with people in high school, you grow out of them whenever people start to get into politics, religion, what's right and what's wrong, stuff like that, or their morals, their values. It's like, I don't connect to those people anymore. And then they might not connect with you, just the same as you did with them. And this could be like someone who quits their religion, they quit their politics, they maybe quit a career. But then when the Saturn return leaves after 32 years, then you're 33 years old. So when you're 33 years old, you really have time to settle into your new identity. And see how he has the green boots. So he's like new, he's not ripe yet. He's still green, wet behind the ears. And he sits on the gray, so he's like life lesson. So it's like what was I saying about the new? So in Saturn, they leave at 32. But then at 33 years old, then you feel like you're reborn, and you're really close to being who you really are on an authentic identity self level. And so 33 is huge in this tarot because it connects to how Jesus was 33 years old when he died on the cross. And also the 33rd degree Freemason is the highest. And when you're connected to that degree, you're connected to the Christ consciousness. When you're enlightened and you're one with yourself and you're one with God and everything and nature, and just really in the moment, you're in the present, and you're finally free in a way, free to not care about what other people think about you and what you do. And yeah, you'll see, I'll tell you later in the future, but a lot of these cards have connected to 33. There's actually 10 cards that are specifically the 33 connection. Also, there's like 33 vertebrae in most everybody's spine that goes up and down your chakra systems, Kundalini, your spiritual tower, just like the tower card, or the Kabbalah Tree of Life is like that, where it has 32 pathways. But then when you connect to the top sphere and finally are out of that sphere and one with God in the spirit world, then that's the 33rd degree. Just like when Jesus died, he returned to the Father and they were one. So a lot of times it's hard to get to that point, but the only way to get there is by opening up your heart, and you love yourself and you love others and you treat others the way you want to be treated. And I don't know if y'all know the torus. There's a torus field around everything that in the world, everything, even the planet has a torus field. So it all originates from the core, but also like your heart, which is the core. And Jesus was the heart chakra. And Jesus said the only way to the Father, which is the brain, is through the heart. So the heart is like it has electrical pulses out of it. And when you keep it at a high frequency with love, then you create this force field torus around your body that protects you and only attracts luck and blessings, prosperity, abundance, joy. So this is a guy who's finally getting to that point. He's finally getting there and figuring out the real secret to abundance in life is to open up your heart. That's the whole point of the tarot cards, is to have it open your heart and to get your vibration higher. Because everything works on the law of attraction or law of vibration. So if your heart's vibrating at this electrical impulse that's really high, then you'll only attract the same likeness, because like attracts like. Man, that's the secret to life right there. And that's how you get all the good parking spots, the good timing, the free stuff, and good connection with people. And you sleep better, all that. All right, 9 of Cups. This card, there's a little guy. He's sitting inside the temple. I like to say temple, but it could mean shop also, like a little shop. But this guy sits with these cups that are on a curved table, and there's 9, just like the curved menorah that you bring out with 9 candles on Hanukkah. So this could be looked like the Hanukkah card. And so the middle candle is called a shamash, and the shamash means servant. And so you light the shamash candle first, and then you take the wick of an unlit candle and you burn it with the shamash. And so the shamash serves to light the others. And then it's like an eternal flame that never goes out or diminishes, because you can light an infinity candles with your candle that's lit with your light. And you become a channel for the light. You become someone who pays it forward. You give good, so other people give good, and they talk good behind your back because you're doing good service. And then word of mouth brings more people to you. And a lot of people, if you're doing service for others, they don't really remember your name. They might not remember your store name, but they remember how you made them feel. And then that's what makes people come back. And that's what this card has a lot to do about just like a slow burn, just doing little random acts of kindness to kind of make your light last and to spread your light like a channel. Just like in Hanukkah. Hanukkah, you get all the light of God on that day. And then you have to learn how to manage that light so it can sustain and maintain throughout the entire year until the next Hanukkah comes. Kind of like whenever you have tons of money in your bank account. But it's like that's all you get for the year. That's all your allowance. So learn to manage it. Just like when people feel the spirit of Christmas. It's real. It's like, I wish this could last all year long. It's like it can if you just learn to manage it right. So it's learning how to be frugal with your time and energy and people, and also conservative. So it's like, don't blow your load, don't get too excited, don't jump into things too fast, don't push things too quickly. Just kind of take a gradual, slow burn. So in the relationships, it's like, or in a business also, it's like, let me just do the work. I'm just being a servant here, because the shamash means service or servant. So service. And I just know in gradual time. Even a relationship, it's like someone who just wants to take it slow. I don't want to rush things. I want to kind of figure it out as we go. And I really enjoy what this is now. I don't want to put a label on it. I just want to, let's just let it happen naturally, organically. Because we're ruining those moments of now when we're worried about, labeling it, and kind of, it sucks when you do that. Like, let's just have fun and be light and laugh and celebrate, decorate the house instead of let's just enjoy the moment. And so this guy, people say he's like real proud and he's prideful, but when you look at it like the Hanukkah card and the shamash, then he's transformed his selfish pride in taking pride in his service. He's transformed his ego. He just likes to give, give, give without trying to burn anyone. So he's kind of like being real conservative, like just does the minimal or the bare minimum with people. He doesn't go too over and beyond just to get a sell. He does his job, he does it well, and then they remember that he was great and fun and he did a good job, and then they spread the word and then he gets return customers. And then there's a Hebrew word for the sun, which is like the sun in the sky. It's called shemesh. So it's like shamash, but with e's instead of a's. So the sun is just a servant, and it's just a channel for light, and all it does is give, give, give. So this is like someone who's just like that, like a ray of sunshine, and they transform their pride into doing pride in their service and service for others. But yeah, again, about that slow, just, yeah, like let's just take it slowly. Let's just enjoy what it is, in like in relationships or with business. And the guy in Hanukkah, you go to the temple to light the menorah. So this guy could be like, that's his shop, that's where he works. So it could be like someplace where someone has like their own little business or their own little shop, or he's like a service industry. I've seen a lot of people get this carbon as a bartender because he's a service industry and he's sitting behind a wall with cups on it, just like a bar would have. Or even people that work in a candle shop and they display all their candles just because he's lighting the candles. All right, next card, 9 of Swords. What's it called? So 9 of Swords is a guy who's repenting. So this is like the repentance card. He's up in bed with his hands over his eyes and he's looking within and he's sad that he behaved or acted the wrong way. And he's wearing all white, which is purity. So he's like purifying his sins at nighttime before he has to go to sleep. And the Kabbalists teach that you should repent like this every single night. And because every single night you build up like things that you regret. Maybe you said the wrong thing. Maybe you didn't say anything and you regret that you should have stood up for yourself. Something like that. And so this guy has a whole long list of things he regrets. And sometimes it could be the same incident. And then he just thinks about it over and over, like 9 times, like a whole list of all the things. He just keeps repeating it. And the more that you repeat that thing that made you feel bad, it's like re-inflicting the wound. So it's like, why would you keep re-inflicting yourself? Like, why don't you implant like a new idea of what you should have done and how you should have behaved? So next time when you like are in that same kind of position, a situation, you'll just subconsciously react how you should have, because you just implanted that thought inside your brain and kind of reprogrammed your brain. So don't start thinking about what you did, because like the energy will flow where the attention goes. So why don't you like start thinking about what you should do instead of what you regret doing? And then in the future, you're more likely to do what you should have done. That's the whole like premise of that movie Inception by Christopher Nolan. They implanted one idea that was positive to trump all the negative thoughts, because the one good idea trumps all the bad ones. So that's what this guy's doing. And so he wakes up the next morning and he promises to be better and to do what he should have done. And then you'll see the bedpost. If you look real close, you'll see a guy pushing down another guy really violently to the ground. And so this guy in the bed was either one of these guys. And either way, he either felt like a victim or he did the wrong thing. Either he got pushed or he was the one that was bullying and pushed somebody. It was impulsive. It was in the heat of the moment. It was a tense situation and he regrets it. So next time he's either going to stand up for himself or punch the guy back, or he's going to just bite his tongue and walk away and not engage. And then you'll see his bedding. It's all these symbols of the zodiac. And then a zodiac is like a yearly calendar. And it's also like karma every single year. According to the Jewish myth or theology, I guess, or religion, there's on Rosh Hashanah, it's the head of the year. And that's the day where your karmic calculator, it resets. And then you start fresh, new clean slate. So every single year you pay for just new karma. So it's like paying your taxes. So don't worry about something you did 2 years ago, because you've already paid it off in your karmic debts. And every single Libra, around September 20th, around that time, it always resets. And so this guy is resetting. It's called the tuvah in Hebrew, which means the return. But also when you count the zodiac symbols, there's 26. And if you count the red roses, there's 26. So the red roses will connect to the Sabbath days. Like there's a, just like a Sunday, but it's Sabbath for Hebrew, like a Saturday. So there's 52 in a year. When you count them all together, 26 and 26 is 52. And there is 52 holy days are inside a year. And so it's just like connecting to that holiness. And when we connect to God, and you start to purify yourself, get rid of sins, get rid of regrets and behaviors, and you act better and promise to do better. And then the 26 is also the numerical value for Jehovah. So it's like that's connecting to God. You see 26 roses and the 26 zodiac symbols. Okay, to the 52. So connecting to God every day of the week, but also even more so on Sabbath days. And then you also do it every single night. So it's like you're always repenting. Yeah, human beings are kind of like robots. They just they react all the time. There's very little like consciousness for the most part, most people. So this guy's just being more self-aware, mindfulness. And so he knows if he implants a new idea that's good, it'll get inside his subconscious mind, which acts like a robot. So he's reprogramming his mind. So when he's triggered again, it'll just fall on default to be the good behavior. And then we got 9 of Pentacles next. This card encompasses the idea of like trust in divine timing. That's what it is. So you see how she has the peregrine falcon, and you use these falcons in falconry, but you take the bird to fly away and go catch prey, and then you just trust in divine like trust that it'll come back to you with prey inside of his mouth. And so you let it go, and then everything that it takes a lot of work to train this falcon, a lot of patience, and over time it builds this trust. So it's like it doesn't happen easy. It takes a lot of time, and then if the bird flies away, you don't know if it'll ever come back. So you trust it'll come back because y'all had like some sort of a bond. And then every time it comes back, even if it didn't come back with prey in its mouth or showed you where a mouse was, you would still give it a little treat. And so then it's like, at least I come back for a treat. So then you build up this trust. So it's like in divine timing, the bird will finally come back with prey in its mouth. Just trust in the process. And then whenever it's ready, it'll happen. And that kind of vibe. Just have faith. Just know that whatever you put out in the world always comes back. And the things and blessings you want, maybe you're just not ready for them yet. So when they do come, you'll know you'll be ready. Because God never gives you anything that you cannot handle. So if you're asking for stuff that's really big and outside yourself, and you're not getting them, then think to yourself, why am I not getting these things I want? It's because you're not there yet. Like, just handle what you can now. And then when you show that you can handle that, that's when you get bigger blessings. Just enjoy the process. And she has this tree on the left of her, tree on the right of her, kind of like the 2 pillars of the Kabbalah Tree of Life. And she sits in the middle pillar. And the middle pillar is the pillar of mildness. So she's just solid ground. She's chill. And she knows that she puts in the work, and what goes around comes around. Whatever I put back, or whatever I throw out there, will always come back to me. And then she's a maiden who's a virgin, and she's waiting inside the vineyard for the suitors to come arrive. And also the sport of falconry was the only sport back in Renaissance time, so they let women play, and they would play with men. And so the birds are called lovebirds because they have the opportunity for the men to court the ladies and to see which ones they could pluck off the vine to become the wives. And then also in the Jewish holidays, there's something called Tu B'Av, which is like Valentine's Day, where the virgin maidens would dance in the vineyard under the full moon, waiting for the suitors to arrive. And so since the 9's connect to the moon, this card could definitely be a full moon card. And then what else? If you count the roses on her dress, there's 40. 40 in the tarot and Torah always connects to things about timing. And when you're finally earned whatever you had, like lesson you had to learn. Just like there's the Jewish people had to be inside the desert for 40 years before they could finally get to the promised land. Or Noah's Ark, it was 40 days inside the rainstorm before they were delivered to the promised land. things like that. 40 always comes. Like it's a time where you take a spiritual baptism, you get well-rounded, you learn the life lessons, you see the big picture at the end, it all becomes full circle again, and you see how everything works in divine timing. Everything happened for a reason. But you don't get there until you finally reach that final level of that 40. So when you think of the Virgin Maiden and it connects to the moon, think about now she's ready to have a baby be born inside her womb. Because 40 connects to the Hebrew word mem, which means water, with a numerical value of 40. So now she can have a birth inside her body. So now she's ready to be plucked off the vine, to get married and be a mother and have children. Because back in the Renaissance time, that was the only thing they could aspire to be. If you ever read Little Women or saw the movie, they were so worried about getting married off by they were like 15 years old, or they would die an old maid when they were 24. It was different times. But this is like the maiden always gets plucked off the vine because she's ready now. And you know she's ready because she's in the pillar of mildness and she has the 40 roses. So she is blossoming. She's beauty like the roses. She is ripe to be plucked off the vine. And then there's 3 pentacles on the left side or the right side. I always mess up because I go the opposite direction. So 3 is Bina, understanding. And so it's like blessings of understanding. Just like now she understands how the whole process works, how she puts herself out there and knows that her crush or her husband to be will come. This could be like anything that you're waiting to come, like the job opportunity, any kind of relationship coming to you, anything that you wanted, maybe like sales come in, finally, something like you've been working on. It's like big desire. And then over here you have 5, right? Or 6. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh yeah, 6, because 9, of course. So 6, and the 6 on the negative polarity on the left side of the card. So 6 is Tiferet, which means like beauty, ruled by the sun. So it's like she's starting to like understand that she's like oh yeah, this is like the blessings, and this is the negativity side. So she's starting to really like understand that she's at her peak level. She's beautiful, she's ready, and because of this, now she's like thinking about all these opportunities that she can get now. That's where that negative side comes, where it's like now I'm super hot, I'm super sexy. What can I get from this? Or like I'm really doing good at my job. Now I'm ready for the promotion. You know, like I want more. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just like a healthy ego. So I say negative side, but it's not like negative bad. It's just that polarity of I want, or I'm curious to know. I want to experience new stuff. That kind of stuff. It's just it could get negative if that just becomes like too much and you start to hurt others to get what you want, or you get jealous of others that have what you want, stuff.